Hello everyone, and thank you for coming back to my channel. When I first started to learn how to draw a chrysanthemum, I found it very difficult and complicated. However, after watching tutorials, taking some good advice, and then practicing over and over again, I understood that it's a somewhat easy pattern to follow that makes them a lot less complicated and a lot more fun to draw. So let's start by drawing a circle. Note that none of the lines we will be drawing need to be perfect. Then I will draw a long line across the circle that will represent the middle axis the whole flower is on. Now it's time to choose a spot that will be the center of the flower. If that spot was in the middle of the circle, then we would be looking at the flower directly from the top. And if that spot was on the edge of the circle, then we would be looking at the flower from the side. So I will choose a spot that is between middle and edge so that we draw the chrysanthemum in an angle. I will also find the exact same spot on the other side of the axis. This one will represent the bottom of the flower. Now let's turn this circle into a sphere. I'm going to draw lines that cross the top point, just like the meridians of the earth, to separate our sphere into slices. Now that our sphere looks like a peeled tangerine, I will draw the first layer of petals following the slices. And just like that, we already have the innermost part of the chrysanthemum. See how I didn't draw the petals all the way up to the middle point? That's so that there's some space left for the hidden petals in the middle of the flower. The first part of drawing a chrysanthemum is done. Now let's move on to the fun part. Starting from the lower point that represents the bottom of the flower, I'm drawing long outward curves. Now I can start drawing petals that follow the curvature of those lines. They can be bigger or smaller, but I suggest for a start begin by drawing them shorter in the inside and longer on the outside. Tilt the tip of each petal inwards to give it its distinct curly look. It doesn't matter that in this first design the petals look stiff and symmetrical. We are doing this to get the hang of how to build the structure of this flower. In time, you can experiment with the petals crossing each other, curling in or curling out, and whatever else you feel that makes them look more organic. But for now, let's focus on the structure. Now that I have all my petals drawn, I will finally outline them. So far, I've designed each petal in a very straight, basic shape, but you can change that to a different style. Like for example, you can add a little corner somewhere halfway or closer to the edge to make the shape more interesting. Or you can have the sides curl inwards to make them look more bulky and thick. No matter the shape you choose, don't forget to add at least a middle vein in each petal, if not more. Have those veins follow the curvature of each petal so that they accentuate their shape. You can do a single one in the middle or add lots of them across the length of the petal, but whatever you choose to do, copy the same number and arrangement for every one of the petals in your chrysanthemum. Here I'm outlining the same chrysanthemum again, but this time with a different petal shape that has a little extra corner close to the tip. I'm also adding the middle vein, and see how much more prominent the curve becomes after adding that feature. Now let's outline the chrysanthemum one more time, but featuring the curlier petal version. This style might take you a little longer to master because you have to think of one more dimension when you draw your petals. Chrysanthemums are complicated but beautiful and fun to draw. It may take a little while to get the hang of it, but hopefully following this pattern will help. And once you understand the structure and have practiced it enough, the flow will also improve and will look more organic. Experiment with different shapes and styles for the petals, and don't forget to pay attention to the veins. I might do a video on leaves of different kinds of shapes in the future, and I will cover the chrysanthemum leaves there. So until then, stay tuned and thank you for watching.